So it's just all right. All right, I think we're back on, right? Got my fingers? Everybody's good? So where were we? Let's see, what are we doing? Anybody in the chat box want to say where did we freeze? I'm curious, all jokes aside. Like to know, chopping garlic, mincing and grating. We were talking about the little culinary geek out tip for you. When something calls to be, minced, and if you choose to grate it instead, it's going to be a lot more concentrated because you're going to be getting a lot more of the surface area, and you might end up doing more than if you were to mince it. Mince it's going to be like this is minced right here. You can see, the difference, like how minced is like that, right? Can everybody see that? And then grated would be really fine. So just pay attention when you are putting that type of stuff together. So I am mincing and I'm grating, or I'm mincing my my garlic and my ginger. Did we get the health benefits of ginger, or should I repeat that, Alex?
I put your graphic in. I don't know if they saw it.
Okay, let us know in the chat box, folks. Did anyone hear the health benefits that I mentioned? Yes or no? And if not, then we'll continue. So we're getting the sauce put together, and this sauce we're going to eventually end up spooning over the fish, and we'll get to that in a second. We got ginger. We're going to take some fresh lime. This is such a simple recipe, but you're going to absolutely love it. It tastes so good. I can't wait for you to try it. We're going to take lime. Now, if your lime is hard, you can always just gently and firmly roll it out. Before you cut it, it's easier. But you can roll it like that, and then it'll soften up the cells. And that's something that I do fairly regularly. However, I have limes that are soft and easy to do. Then, of course, you can use a citrus reamer, you can use a squeezer, or just an easy old fork. And we're squeezing out a couple tablespoons worth of that lime juice. Questions, comments, thoughts, folks? Where are we at? How's everybody doing tonight? What are your knife skills? Are we still on? No, we had some internet adjustments earlier. What's that? Awesome. Questions, comments, thoughts? All right. Continue on. Has anyone made a recipe like this and they're excited to do this one, like me? Okay, let me know. Got the lime juice going. And we're going to add some tamari or soy sauce. What's the difference? Well, both of them are made from fermented soybeans, and tamari is a slightly different preparation or processing. There's no wheat or gluten in it. So if you are looking for, as you see this, you'll notice that it looks just like soy sauce. And in truth, this is the tamari here. Okay? So you can't, oftentimes you can't tell the difference, nor can you taste the difference. Without pouring it out, I'll show you. There we go. You can kind of see it. Anyways, it looks just like soy sauce. Oh, I got an idea. We'll go up to camera 4 there so you can get a better idea of that. But it's just, there we go. Thank you. Because sometimes people say, hey, does soy have wheat or gluten or not? Well, yes, it does, but tamari doesn't. I do encourage folks to just pay attention to the sodium content. With this recipe, it's serving 4, and it's a tablespoon, not a problem. I'm going to add a dash of salt in there as well. Now, frankly, that's kind of optional. This is such an easy recipe. Such an easy recipe. We're going to add some crushed chili flakes. I like the heat. Now, when we talk spices, you've got flavor and you've got heat. Crushed chili pepper, it's heat, right? Ginger is a dash of heat and a lot of flavor. Garlic, same thing. So just keep that in perspective. And when people say spices, they're not just saying it's a hot thing. It's a flavor thing. Going to keep the oil, and then we're going to slice up our green onions. And what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to cut these. Let's see, how do we want these cut? Okay, we're going to slice them, and if you want to have some extra for garnish. But I'm just going to cut them at a bias like this. Remember, let the knife do the work. You see how I let my knuckles guide my knife. Let my knuckles guide my knife, and it's fundamentally impossible for me to cut myself. Now, if I'm doing this bit, or I'm putting my fingers out doing this, I could easily cut myself. It won't happen if I just let the knife do the work and I'm rocking back and forth. All right, and I just went to the very ends of the green onions. And actually, I want to point something out. For those of you that have kids or grandkids around and you want to show a fun little experiment, take the end of this onion like this, pop it in the dirt, and these green onions will continue to grow. That was a really cool thing I learned 5-6 years ago. And I highly recommend, if you want a fun, easy way to get your kids involved and show them, how much fun it can be, just see where their food comes from, definitely one of those things to do. Okay, we're gonna take half of the onions. We're gonna pop it into our sauce. Excellent. Yes.
We have a question in the house.
Oh, there's a question in the house. Yes.
We had a whole onion that was like, we tried it and it regrowed with a couple sprouts.
Everybody hear that? Yes. Now,
Whole onion.
you can, inventor camera Azra says that not only does it work with these little green onion scallions, but we had an onion at our home. And we did the same thing as she did and her sister, and that was pretty cool. So you could do it with an onion too, right? There you have it. Okay, I'm heating up my pan, folks. At least I'm trying to. There we go. Heating up the pan. I am excited to show you this because doing skillet work, especially with fish, is one of those things that people can get intimidated. But the good news is, especially when you're doing a thin fillet, it goes like that. And if you're prepped right, with the right heat and the right fat, it's going to be really easy. If your skills are still a bit shaky, and that's okay, you can always pop on the oven, maybe do 400 degrees, and put some foil or parchment paper, just something so that you're, and maybe put a little oil on there, on the fish underneath as a buffer so it does not stick. You can always, you can always bake it. You can always broil it as well. But I want to try to give you some positive takeaway with that. Now, another positive takeaway that I want to give you. When it comes to health benefits from tilapia, whitefish like tilapia, high in B vitamins. Okay, B vitamins are really significant to help as a great mood booster and to support emotional resilience. Fortunately, it's getting to be nice out, and the weather's great, and I so appreciate those of you that are choosing to hang out and participate with us. That's awesome because you could be doing other stuff. But having said that, having foods that are high in B vitamins that can help you have a stable mood to lessen those mood swings is a great thing, and tilapia would be a great source for that. So definitely recommend it. How do you know when your pan is hot without sticking your hand on the pan? Let me know in the chat box. How do you know? 2 guesses. You drop. Let's let the audience. Thank you, Azra. We can let the audience guess. And if nobody wants to participate, then I'll let you answer the question. Do you feel the heat, or do you throw some water in there and see what happens? I want to know if anyone has anything to say about that. Okay, this is getting nice and hot, and that's key. When you are pan frying fish, you need a hot pan and a nice oiled pan. Same thing if you're doing it on the grill. Remember that. If you've got hot grill, oiled grill, you're set. But if it is not that hot and you put the fish on there, the fish will almost like kind of sink into the metal and it will stick. And now you got problems with trying to maneuver it, and it's not going to work for you. It'll work against you. So keep that in mind. All right, this is definitely hot. Okay, next we're going to take our fish, and I'm going to move this to the side here. Everybody's happy?
Keep going. Facebook is having issues.
Okay. We're going to add our oil to the pan, and then we're going to put the fish in the pan. I recommend, now I have a 10-inch skillet here, okay? Just kidding, 12. We got a 12-inch skillet. I use my bigger one. I have a 10-inch. This is a sauteuse pan here. They call it sauteuse because of the flat edges, but you could definitely do the fish in here, but I would recommend doing your fillets in batches. If you're cooking for 2, whether you have a 10-inch like this, or like this style or this style as a 10-inch, or you have a 12-inch with the big pan that I have, you can make it work. You can easily do 2 servings in there, and if you're cooking for 4, I would still just make it easy. And if you're real skilled at doing this, go for it. Just keep moving forward. All right, pan is hot. We're going to add our oil to the pan, and you'll see we got sizzle So we got to pay attention now. We don't want sizzle to hit anybody and burn anybody. That's really important. We're going to take our fish and we are going to lay it on the pan in the oil, and I'm shaking it just ever so gently as you saw there so that it doesn't stick. Okay, there we go. I don't want it to stick and I want it to set. Now I'm going to let it be. Okay, we're going to start cooking that.
Okay, in the in-house.
In-house, yes.
Your sous chef wants to explain why it's a sizzling.
Oh, please. Yes. Why don't you
It's
bring it?
Okay.
We're going to pull the camera. We're going to pull the mic over to you. Go ahead.
It's sizzling because it's hot.
Well, that is very true. And you also know the pan is hot when you can feel the heat radiating off. Okay, you can certainly do the water trick and it dances, or you flick some water in there, it dances, you know it's hot. I know that might sound like a kind of a silly, simplistic thing to be talking about, but it really comes down to how you do the technique. I chose not to season the fish yet because the sauce, it's a highly concentrated sauce. That sauce is going to permeate into the fish as we're cooking it, and so I wanted to give it, I want to let the sauce do the work. So we let our fish cook, and you can see now how the edges are getting a little bit, light in color. They're starting to get some a little bit opaque. That's good, okay? And then we're going to flip the fish here, and I want to make sure that, oh yeah, look at that. See, we've got minimal stickage. If you need to do a little wrist action like that, please do that. It's okay. It's okay if you have some of the fish sticking a little bit, but the idea is you don't want much of it. I'm going to flip this now because this fish is already it's at least halfway cooked. So I'm going to flip it and then we're going to add the sauce. I'm going to flip away from myself and I'm also going to make sure that I got enough fat on there. Flip it. That looks great. And we're going to get a little more fat on there and we're going to flip it. I flipped towards myself. Now we're going to add our sauce. Questions, comments, thoughts?
Yes.
Yes.
How should you store fresh ginger?
I personally, I like to put my ginger. I'll have it in in one of the little drawers in a bag in the fridge. But I also will put it into the freezer, and it will last forever. Sort of like doing the garlic. Now I'll talk a little more about ginger, but you can see how putting all this on top and it's sizzling, and it's just got this great aroma. It smells so fantastic. Very, very, very simple. Now, I just did all the sauce in here with the 2 fillets. If you have a pound and a half worth of fish right there, you're set. If you're going to probably realistically have 3 to 4 fillets of this tilapia, you can save half of the sauce, do 2 portions, and then if you're doing the full recipe, then finish the 2 portions and add the rest of the sauce. But this is just about done. It is so simple. I'm going to let this cook for a little bit longer. Now, going back to the ginger a little bit, I actually freeze my ginger. A lot of, those of you that regularly participate, and if you're wondering, hey, what's this guy talking about? I want you to cook with us in real time. Go to chefmarshallobrein.com/show so that you can get the recipe shopping list in advance, and we can cook and make an awesome meal together and get your questions answered in real time. Having said that, for those of you that are regulars, a lot of times I'll mince up a lot of garlic, pop it in the freezer. Ginger, same thing. Okay, so definitely that's cool. Speaking of cool, I would like to acknowledge last week's episode, folks that participated. Got a great bunch of folks. Let's talk about it. Let's see it. Starting with Margaret, says, awesome, really easy, loved it, all caps, sharing some Tamari with my sister and brother-in-law. This was the coconut curry lentil soup we're talking about. Thank you, Margaret, for sharing. We've got Pam Jacobs, says, I love the soup, curry flavor. It was so fun recipe to make. Awesome. That's a nice picture too, by the way. Oh, and Pam part 2. She made, the next night, because there was a lot of leftovers, made a massaman curry style inspired Thai dish and added, look at you getting creative, Pam. Really love it. That's awesome. Super. I love the glass of sparkly, whatever that was, bubbly. And BK says this was this was the end of the soup the next day. It was really good. So a little bit spicy before adding the coconut milk, and but it helped make calm the spice. Maybe cut back on the cayenne pepper. Fantastic, folks. That's the whole point of this show, is to share. And if you want to have more help in the kitchen, go to chefmarshallbryan.com/shop. Get our Smart Nutrition Cookbook Meal Planner. Super dynamite. Okay, I turned off the heat because we are done here. This is beautiful. This looks awesome. Lots of concentrated flavor from the garlic and the ginger, and it's going to just really nice permeates into the fish. And that's the whole point of this. You're going to absolutely love it. You may want to serve it with, a little bit of quinoa or a little bit of rice. Maybe you just did some of your favorite roasted vegetables, or just have it like that with a salad. I actually, I did a little chef special. Anyone know what chef special is? Now, today, this just happens to be whatever was in the freezer is the special, to be totally honest. That's the whole chef special. I grabbed some, I just heated up my skillet with a little bit of ghee and some sweet peas and some bell peppers and a dash of salt. And we're going to put the tilapia right on top and enjoy that. It's going to be great. I mean, look at how beautiful that is. That's a nice dish. Look at that. I'm going to show that dish right there. There we go. How's that? Okay, folks, I want to know, what does your dish look like? First I'm going to tell you, please submit your pictures. When you cook tonight, submit them so we can see what they look like, and we can share next week when we do our awesome dish. Recapping real quick. We've got health benefits, B vitamins from the tilapia to help boost your mood. We've got the really digestive friendly ginger and garlic to make a happy belly. Definitely focus on that. Make sure that you have a skillet that can handle how much fish you're doing. And it's got to be a hot pan with your fat in there, but the pan's got to be hot so you can pan fry that fish with confidence. That's what it's all about. And I super appreciate, folks, you participating tonight. I know we had some technical glitches. Life goes on, but we had a great time. Folks, be sure that you connect with us on Facebook, on YouTube. You can also live stream on chefmarshallobryan.com/show. So if you want to do it through the social media, do it, or just hang out on our website. And please keep sharing with your friends and family. Want people to be doing that. I saw a new signal that I'm not familiar with. What's that? Okay, 1 minute. There we go. Anyways, shout out to inventor camera Azra. She did a fabulous job. If you want more help in the kitchen, folks, get our Smart Nutrition Cookbook and Meal Planner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, Instapots, slow cookers. It's awesome. Vinaigrettes, dressings, dips, all that kind of stuff. Great resource for you. Get it for college students, new professionals, busy families, you name it. I can't wait for you to try this. Let us know what you think. Next week, got a dynamite recipe. It is a surprise. It's not a chef surprise, but it is a surprise. So I will let you know. Again, give us your feedback. Let us know what recipes, what kind of dishes you want to see in future episodes that we can keep bringing you value. Thank you so much, everybody. You have an awesome evening. Take care. See you next week.